November 25th, 1963. The funeral of the 35th President of the United States of America, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. In 1961, he had become the first Catholic and the youngest American ever elected president. John Kennedy's victory was achieved by the narrowest of margins, but during his 1,000 days in office, he and his family won the overwhelming support, respect, and love of the American people. Once again, an assassin's bullet had cut down the president in the prime of his life and forever changed the lives of the family who loved him. "14 days before, President Kennedy had visited Arlington National Cemetery with his son John. The president and John attended ceremonies at the Tomb of the Unknowns to commemorate Veterans Day. John enjoyed the day, as did his father, the president. Ten days later, President Kennedy came to Texas to heal a rift in the Democratic Party. The pictures tell the story. The people of Texas were pleased to have the Kennedy family as their guests. Mrs. Kennedy, as usual, stole the show, and the president couldn't have been more pleased.
Years ago, I said that, introduced myself in Paris by saying that I was the man who had accompanied Mrs. Kennedy to Paris. I'm getting that same sensation as I travel around Texas.
In Dallas, on November 22nd, 1963, it was the same story. What a day it started out to be. The streets were lined with Kennedy supporters, many of them looking forward to a second term in 1964. At 12:30 p.m., President Kennedy became the target of Lee Harvey Oswald. The president was rushed to surgery, but died without regaining consciousness. The cause of death was given a gunshot wound in the brain. The shots came from a window of the Texas School Depository building, where the murder weapon was found. Dallas, the nation, and the world tried to make order out of confusion and disbelief. But the facts wouldn't change. The president was dead. Within 2 hours, Lee Harvey Oswald was brought in for questioning. He denied the shooting.
I don't know exactly how long he's been under question. It's been intermittent. It has not been continuous. But so far, he's given absolutely no sign of weakening under the questioning. Are you and the rest of the police convinced you have the right man now? I think we do.
Paraffin tests proved that Oswald had recently discharged a firearm. The following day, he was arraigned on charges of murdering President Kennedy. 4 months before, Oswald had taken part in a Fair Play for Cuba protest in New Orleans.
You're a Marxist?
Well, I have studied Marxist philosophy, yes, sir, and also other philosophers.
But are you a Marxist? I think you did admit on an earlier radio interview that you consider yourself a
Well,
Marxist.
I would very definitely say that I am a Marxist. That is correct. But that does not mean, however, that I'm a communist.
What is the difference between the two?
Well, there's a great deal of difference. Several American parties in several countries are based on Marxism, such as Ghana. Certain countries have characteristics of a socialist system, such as Great Britain with its socialized medicine. These, then, are the differences between an outright communist country and countries which adhere to leftist or Marxist principles.
On November 24th, 1963, Oswald was being transferred from the city jail to the county jail. As Oswald had waited for the president, another assassin waited for him. Lee Harvey Oswald's assassin was Jack Ruby, a Dallas nightclub owner who had been a great admirer of the president. Like Oswald, Ruby, by taking a life, tampered with history. Air Force One was the scene of Lyndon Johnson's inauguration.
I solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help me God.
Over the years, questions about the assassination of President Kennedy have remained. Many felt that the Warren Commission did not come up with all the evidence. There have been many theories put forth suggesting conspiracies. And history wonders what Lee Harvey Oswald might have confessed to if there had been time.